Well, good morning. It's Thursday, April 9th. School year is going by quickly, although it seems like it's been dragging in the last few weeks. But we are in the first week of the fourth quarter, and we're looking forward to getting started well in this quarter. And today's Bible lesson is about a faithful follower named James Gilmore, who was a missionary to Mongolia from 1878 to 1891. You can imagine how difficult it is to go to a different country today, but back then in the 1800s, much more difficult to get around. And so Mongolians especially were they were clinging on to the false religion of Buddhism, and he taught about Christ, and even though he never baptized any of the Mongolians, he was faithful to those people there. This is called love from a stranger. James Gilmore faced an unusual situation. A group of village people brought a critically wounded man to his home. "You claim to be a man of God, help him," they demanded. "I'm not a doctor," he said, "but I'll take a look at him." He examined the man and saw that his leg was twisted and bleeding. "Not only do you have a bad wound," Mr. Gilmore told him, "but it looks like your bone is broken also." The wounded man spoke with anger. "Those outlaws attacked and robbed me, and then they left me like this." "That reminds me of a story in the Bible," Mr. Gilmore said. "One day a man was walking down the road when he was attacked by robbers. They beat him, took everything he had, and left him to die. After a while, another man passed by, but when he saw the wounded man lying in the road, the traveler crossed to the other side without stopping to help." As Mr. Gilmore told the Bible story, he silently prayed, "Dear Lord, please help me. My influence as a missionary depends on the healing of this man. Please heal this man for your glory." While James was praying, another man entered, coughing heavily. "Please, sir," the man said between coughs, "I am very ill. I need help." Mr. Gilmore could see that this man was very weak. His cheeks were hollow, his eyes sunken. "This man is a living skeleton," James thought to himself. "I can see nearly all his bones." Again he prayed, "Dear Lord, please give me wisdom. Show yourself mighty on my behalf." "You need some rest," he said to the coughing man. "Come rest on my couch while I treat this other man." He led the man to the couch and wrapped a blanket around his shoulders. Mr. Gilmore returned to the injured man, who was now in great pain. "Please," the injured man whispered, "do something." James looked at the wounded man's broken knee. Then he glanced over at the couch where the sick man lay. He walked over to the couch, bent down, and inspected the sick man's knee. "What are you doing?" the sick man asked before another cough shook his body. Mr. Gilmore replied, "I can see the prominent bone structure of your knee. If I can get this other patient's bone to match yours, it'll be reset." He walked back to the injured man and gently began working to reset the bone. The wounded man winced, but did not protest. After several tries, Mr. Gilmore was finally able to set the broken bone. The man looked at his knee, then at Gilmore, and said, "My leg is straight now. You are wonderful." James shook his head, saying, "It is God who will heal your leg. He gave me the wisdom I needed to help you." As he went to get some cough medicine for the sick man, the other man said, "You never finished your story about the poor man who was beaten up and robbed by the bandits." "Oh, you're right," James said, "but let me tell the first part to our other patient, since he didn't hear the beginning." Mr. Gilmore told the first part to the sick man, and then he continued the story. Another man came along, but he didn't stop to help the wounded man either. He just kept walking on his way. Finally, a third man came by. This man was not of his tribe or of his people, but he loved God with all of his heart. When he saw the man lying by the side of the road, he put medicine on his wounds, bandaged them, put him on his own donkey, and took him to an inn where he could get better. He paid for the wounded man to stay in a room and to have a meal. The man with the set bone asked, "He did all that for a stranger?" Mr. Gilmore nodded, "Yes, because he cared for him. The man who helped is called the Good Samaritan." The man looked at his knee. "You did not know me, yet you helped me." The sick man said, "You are not of our color, but you cared for our needs. You are a good, smart man, too." James chuckled. "Not a good, smart man," he said, "but a good Samaritan." God used this incident as an opportunity for Mr. Gilmore to tell the Mongolian people about Christ's love. James had not studied medicine, but he knew how to rely on God's power for help, and he knew how to show love. The Mongolians saw the love of Jesus through a stranger who truly cared. And so your work text pages are 199 to 200. Now today is Thursday, and so that means that tomorrow you have a memory verse quiz. You have no worksheets to do tomorrow. So this worksheet that I'm giving you today, you can just put in the envelope on Monday to return it with the other worksheets that you have. You will look up the answers through the verses that are there in the pages. There are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7 of them that you're going to be looking up. Actually, maybe as many as 10 that you'd have to look up. And so you're going to do that, and that's your work, but nothing for tomorrow. So there will not be a video tomorrow. Since the only thing you have is to do the memory verse quiz, there's no reason to have you do a video to watch me. And so that will be it as far as for this week for Bible. I will have, of course, a devotional video for each day, but you want to make sure that you watch that. And hope you have a good weekend, since I won't see you from Bible anymore, but I'll see you tomorrow in the other classes. Have a good day. Bye.